Okay. Morning, afternoon, everyone. I'm obviously
Morning.
not Darla. I'm Christy. It's great to see you all. I think some of you at least were at the part one. Um, can you raise your hand if you weren't at that session, just so I have an idea? Okay, great.
But
Kind of like half and half, actually.
yeah,
Welcome to
I
this.
did, I did look at it on, I looked at your playback, so that was helpful.
Oh, great. Okay, good. I'm glad it was helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at it even after today and you have any questions on that part, feel free to email me. I will put my email address in the chat right now. But yeah, that went over mostly like the basics of Facebook and how to update your account, how to get access to your account. So if you haven't looked at it already, feel free to make the time to. I think it's pretty helpful even for simple questions and just where to find some things. Again, if you have any questions, you can definitely email me. So today's session will mostly be about, will all be about paid ads on Facebook and how to set it up. It can be a bit confusing, but also a super helpful tool and doesn't have to cost a lot. And that's kind of why it's a really good tool in the toolbox. You set the budget, you set the targeting, and it's really by what the resources that you have and what you want to do with it. So with that, I will share my screen. I'll go through some slides. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Let me use slideshow. Great. Okay. So why are some of the reasons that you would want to use a paid ad? So normally when you post to Facebook, it's what we call an organic post. There's no money behind it. You're just relying on who your followers are, and maybe your chapter members to share whatever you post. But with paid ads, you can reach a whole new plethora of people. And like I said, it's on your budget. So whether you want to put it $50 behind it for a couple of days, 100 for a week, whatever you have and want to try, you will gain a far larger reach than by just posting organically. So that is a huge tool to use, especially for an organization like that's always looking to grow. Reaching new people is a huge thing. Um, and it helps when you want to, of course, promote an event, whether it's, a special event, whether it's something that you always have, but you want to grow the attendance for, whether it's a new event and you want to tell the world, or it's an event that needs a little love. And like I said, you want to grow the attendance for. It's a great thing to use for that kind of thing. It also gets more people to your page, both your Facebook page and your chapter page online. So all paid ads come with a link that will take you wherever you want it to go. So it can take you to an event page, it can take you to your chapter page. Whatever your goal is, you can set, where the link goes and what you want to do with it. It can get you new followers on your Facebook page as well, whether that's your objective or just like an added benefit that helps a lot. I know that I last helped run a paid ad for the Long Island chapter, and they got a lot of new followers from that as well. I got a lot of notifications about that while their ad was running. So you can definitely attribute it to that. And there's just so many reasons why you would want to run paid ads. Okay, so I'm actually going to walk through this in real time. But I do have a whole deck of the steps and screenshots of where to go and what things look like for your benefit so that I will send this out to you after this. But I am actually going to go on to Facebook and step through everything in real time for you guys. So it's a bit more helpful. But how to get to paid ads. So on your profile page, you'll see this little button called manage. And like we went over last time, it's shown on your cover photo. There's three different buttons. And one's update your photo, one is this manage button, and one's edit. So if you hit manage, it will take you to this sidebar where you will see Ad Center. So we're gonna go to that in real time now. Okay, I have to sign in, sorry. A little behind the scenes action here. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about this. I thought I would be able to go right to it. My apologies. Just one moment. Facebook is very careful of your account, which is great. Not taking it. 5, 6. Okay. This is my page. And then we just have to switch over to transition fabric. Excellent. Sorry about that. Okay. So like I said, it'll even show you this part. These 3 little buttons under your cover photo: promote, manage, edit. If you click manage, you'll see this whole new sidebar, and it'll bring you to your professional dashboard, which we also went over last time. A lot of good content here.
Christy,
Yes.
just 1 minute. Would you mind just briefly, for those of us who are sort of neophytes, just can you go back one screen
Oh, sure.
and
Sorry.
briefly describe those 3 buttons?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And does that appear on just the transition network ones, or does it those 3 buttons appear on our own personal pages?
It won't appear on personal pages, it'll appear on your chapter pages. These are like business profile options.
Okay, good. I just thought it'd be good to point that out. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Yeah, these are options that are only shown on like an organization page, a business page, things of that nature. Yeah. So on your chapter pages, you will see this if you're able to, if you have access to it. Yes. So promote, you can also go to ads right from there, actually. But I like to show the other way because it shows all the different options. So sorry. Hold on. Manage takes you to all of your page settings. So that's a pretty important button. That's why I like to go to ads from there so you can see everything. And then edit, I went over last time, and that's like a quick edit of, oh, you can change your profile photo, you can change your cover photo, an avatar, which I think that's more like for a personal page, not necessarily a business page. Your bio, and then all of the different ways to communicate with your members. So your site address. If you have an Instagram, you can put your Instagram page here, and then your website. So like I said, you could just click this promote and it'll take you right to ads, which is very easy. But I like to click manage because it shows you all of your different tools here. And then you can go to Ad Center right here. And I also think it's always good to stop down on this page. This is something we went over last time. It's definitely in the recording. But it'll show you all your organic post information and your post reach, your engagement, your new followers in the last 28 days. And if you click into this, you can change that date range and see different information there. Okay. So here you go to the Ad Center, and this is going to show you a summary of whatever ads you've run recently, a quick view of their results, and things of that nature. So it's easy. It gives you 2 big buttons that say create ad. So we're going to click down on that. And these are different ways that you can create an ad. So automated ads is when Facebook kind of helps you personalize them and adjust the results over time. It kind of sets up the whole thing for you, but it chooses kind of what the goal is rather than you tailoring that. So I don't normally recommend this option, but it is helpful in different scenarios. Create new ad is just going in, creating your ad, which we're going to go through all the steps today. And then boost a post is where you can take a post that you posted organically, right? So with no money, and choose to boost it. Like, okay, I really like this post that I posted. I want to put some money behind it, and see how far it can go, right? So that's taking that thing that you already posted and putting money behind it. So we're going to create a new ad from scratch today. Okay. So this is where you go to create a new ad. And on the right here, you can see your ad preview as you're making changes. Right now, it's just taking, the little information from the profile and, showing it in the preview, but you would change all of this. So you can choose a goal, and automatic is when Facebook chooses that for you, like I mentioned. But there are many
Christy?
goals. Yes,
You're not sharing.
I'm not
We
sharing.
can't see. Yeah, we can't see I can't see your screen.
I can see it.
I can see it.
I can see it.
It says that I'm sharing.
Okay, sorry. It's
No, that's
me.
okay. I'm sorry you can't see it. I'm not sure how to fix that for you. Let's see.
I hit a wrong button somewhere. That's
Okay. Can you see it now?
no, go ahead. I'll figure it out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe follow presenter's pointer. I don't know. Like in
Um,
view options.
I'm not on a PC, so just ignore me. Go on.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
that's the problem. Okay. Well, this is being recorded, so whatever you miss, you can go back and look at. Okay, yeah, so you can pick whatever the goal you want is for your ad. So if you want more messages, which is unlikely you would choose this, but that's an option. Get more leads, so you can use kind of like a contact form to collect people's information that may want to give you their information, which is great. If you wanted to use that to get, potential new members, this is a really great thing to use. And it's really helpful because if you click over this information button, it gives you an example of what this could look like. So a name and an email address, and you could submit that. And it just says how they get there would be clicking sign up, and then it would take them to this form example. Yeah, so each one shows you what an example would be. So get more messages, the button to click for users would be send message, and they could send you a message through Facebook. Get more web visitors, that's always really helpful. And that'll be a button like learn more to take you to, and that can take them directly to your chapter page, your event page, whatever you're promoting. Get more visits, this would be to your Facebook page. So they can just click on that, or look, it gives them an option to like it to, sorry, I can't hover over it and click and keep this up, but there's a thumb button, a like thumb, where they can click that and then they'll be able to go right to your page. Get more page followers, again, very similar to the one before that. And advertise your business, which would be learn more, kind of take you to your website. So similar to the one before. So you would choose that. Then you go to ad creative. How do you want your ad to look? And now this will give you a chance to write a little description. Now, like I said, this is pulling in stuff from our bio of the page. So it's just giving an example. But whatever you change here will update the preview in real time. So that is to say, so workshop. Spell it right. Part 2. The ad is going to reload with this copy here. As you can see, so as you're putting together your ad, you'll see a preview on the right, and this is just one preview. You can go through and look how it might look in other examples, other placements on, and you can click in to see here all previews. And it'll show you what it looks like on different medias. So desktop, this is how it would look if this is how you wanted your ad to look. or the button to follow, or, you know, all these options down here to engage. This is what it would look like on your phone. Sometimes ad placements pop up in a suggested video for users on a desktop marketplace, mobile marketplace. There's a lot of different placements that Facebook puts your ad into, so it gets more visibility. So this is what it would look like in every scenario, basically. And as you're creating this, like I said, you can always go back and look and see what it would look like next. So if you click edit options down here, this is where you can upload a new photo. So choose an image. And these are all images that are on your account. So images you've used in the past, images from your Facebook page. You can even pull in images from your Instagram. It'll give you a few stock images that you can search for. Another option is to upload new, and this would be from your desktops or your computer, your laptop, wherever you're creating this ad from. It'll pull from your own files. And then you can also crop the image once you upload or choose an image as well. Now, this is a cool thing too. You can also choose the button that will be here. So right now we have follow. So that would, allow the user to follow my page. But if I want them to contact us, we can change it to that. And then choose a URL. So, your chapter page could be there. If we want to shop, I mean, we're not a business, so we wouldn't be shop now, but you can do call now. If you want people to call you, you can learn more, and that can also take them to your website. Sign up, and that could be where you want them to go to sign up for an event. Visit page, send message, all of those options we looked at before. You can change the button to say anything that you want, which is great.
Christy,
Yes.
can you add a second button?
No, it only allows for the one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Good question. Advantage Creative is another way that Facebook likes to automatically kind of help with different creative variations. You can definitely take advantage of this, or you don't have to. Does it show an example? So it's things that you choose, but then they choose to automatically place, which I think is very helpful instead of choosing where you want things to be. This isn't really relevant, this special ad category. This would be like if you were kind of selling something, or like you can see elections, housing, employment, which is not really relevant to our organization, so you can skip that. But audience, this is a really important part. This is where you can target your audience of who you want to see this ad. So it's really easy. You can click into here and you can choose the gender. So of course, for our organization, we would always want it to be women. And of course, we have a very strict age group. So it's really easy. You just change it to be 50, and then it goes to 65 and over. You can also choose different locations. So again, I've run an ad for Long Island, and I was able to choose Nassau and Suffolk County, and those are the two counties of Long Island. You can choose a town, you can choose a state. For national purposes, we usually do the whole country. But of course, for your purposes, you'd want it to be your individual state, or possibly a certain area of the state, depending on what if you're trying to grow a certain audience. That is all right here. So you would just type in, or you could even drop a pin. You can zoom into, of course, our country here, and you can pick, drop a pin, or you can just type in the area that you'd like. Details are getting into this area. Okay, yes, you can even drill down further onto interests and behaviors, things that people are part of on Facebook. If they've chosen a life event, like maybe someone said that they retired, you can choose that. Again, certain things that maybe not so relevant for our organization, but things that you can choose and drill down on. Yes, Leslie, I see you raise your hand.
Hi. So this is where one of my questions is the one that I struggle with. We do run ads in northern New Jersey and boost posts and all that stuff. But finding the right interests or, you know, these more what I'll call these psychographics, interest behaviors, that sort of thing. And I really, you know, play around with that a lot. Do you have any good feel? Have you done enough at National to have a sense of what seems to work best? Or have any of the other chapters?
Yeah, so great question. I haven't used this particular drill down at National, but I've used it in, you know, past jobs, past lives. And it can be very helpful. It also can be super specific and really narrow your audience in a way that is not helpful. Because this is all dependent on what people choose to show on their Facebook page, right? So if they choose to show that they're a part of a special interest group, or they choose to show that they had a certain life event, then we can gather those people. But if they don't, then those people can be out there, but we're drilling down and we're not gathering, you know, a bigger, you know, a wide enough net, if that makes sense. So it can harm the ad performance. And I'll show you this afterwards, but once you like kind of tailor this audience, whether it's in this area or the areas that we looked before, it will show you the estimated amount of reach that your ad will get. And so you can see it get larger and smaller depending on what you choose. So I've worked in different areas doing marketing in different industries, and it can be very helpful. But like I said, for this kind of like organization, I feel like not a lot, it's tough to choose things that are relevant, I feel. I don't know if anyone else has tried this either, and would like to contribute, but that's my view on it.
I would also add in, I mean, so I'll have to think more about that because this is a tool I've been trying to use, but I don't think I've been wonderfully successful with it. But the other thing I'll just say in our chapter is I've narrowed the age down to 64, really 50 to 64.
Okay.
Because if I allow it to go to 65 plus, it tends to skew quite old. And frankly, we need more in that 50 to 64 range for our chapter. So I would just sort of throw that out to the other chapters. You might want to consider that.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And that's the thing, like, if this is your goal to get, you know, that younger demographic, then that's great. Like this gives you so many options to tailor to whatever your goal is of the ad. So good point. Yeah, as an example with this detailed targeting, I used to work for an e-commerce company that printed invitations and sold envelopes and things of that nature. And so we would we had like a wedding shop of all of our stationery. And we would tailor down life events to recently engaged. So we could get that group of people looking to have their invitations printed and sent and that kind of thing. So it can be super helpful when there's something that it would serve better. I just think, you know, with this organization, it's tough because people always post online, right, that they're engaged or they're married or things like that. So it's, that example makes it really easy to kind of gather those people where it's a little more vague with our organization, I feel. But
Christy, what about life events for like recently retired or
absolutely
empty nester? Is that an option under life event?
Yeah, it is. I believe so. As you can see here, this is great. We should just click through this. Anniversary, very specific birthday, newlywed, engaged,
recently moved. That's one that's
be a good one. Yeah, someone new to your area. That's a great one to use. Yeah, I guess retired isn't on here. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I guess it's not an option to say that on Facebook as a
maybe it's under work.
It might be under
work.
Work.
Here's work. Maybe it's under work.
Industries, yeah, just like job titles and stuff, which is helpful for them too. But yeah, I mean, you could like retired maybe.
Yeah.
Principal retired. That's specific. I mean, they have. Oh, now
happily retired. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Now happily retired. Where was that? Under now happily
work.
Under work, and then you just have to search under job titles. So here, I'll actually take a screenshot of this and I will include it in the deck.
Great.
Great.
Thanks.
So let's see what we get with this, actually. I'll keep it on. Yep, okay. Confirm.
Does it limit it to the happily retired or?
Yes, it does. It does. So it'll only be people that are happily retired. And that's the thing too, like people have to include that on their own profile for you to, right? So they have to announce, I am happily retired.
Mhm.
So that's why it gets very limited. Yeah, so it went from like 700 something to 1.1K. So 1,000 to 3,000, which is still like good, you know, like if you wanted this, I mean, it's also dependent on the budget too, that affects the reach, but it's a smaller audience for sure. You might want to run it for longer since it's a smaller audience.
Hmm.
But yeah, that gives you a good example. So in addition to this, you can also, wait, let me make sure I actually get it on there. I don't think I did. Sorry, hold on, let me see. No, I didn't. There we go. Yeah, save audience, sorry. Oh, and it even said here, audience is too narrow. So Facebook does not suggest us doing that. They can't even tell us what the estimated reach is because they're
Okay.
not, yeah. That's a good example. I'm glad we walked through that actually. Yes, Leslie, are you still raising your hand or is that from before?
No, that's sorry. I'll
No,
undo.
no worries. I was just wondering.
But I'll throw out one more question. So you
Yeah.
take happily retired. Now let's say we also add in, say widowed or divorced. Okay, all right. Now, do those become additive?
It can, yeah.
Because that I think is another area for us, and that would widen your audience, but still get you to people who say are perhaps you're looking for new connections,
You can even
right?
go that deep, Scottish widows. So that's
Scottish.
very specific. Yeah, all right. So it's not giving us the warning sign anymore. So widow definitely opened the net.
Mhm.
So still small, starting at 700 to 2,000, but still that helped.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's a great point. And if you don't know if they have it, honestly, the best thing you can do is just try and search like we just did. Definitely not gonna give myself credit for that. You can definitely what else did you say? Widowed and
Divorced.
yeah,
Except how many
Really
people on
divorced.
Facebook, how many people on Facebook say they're widowed or divorced?
right, exactly. More people than said now happily retired. So like
That's right.
that, but yeah, okay, that grew a little with divorced or widowed, yeah.
What if you just instead of saying now happily retired, just retired?
Yeah, I'll try that. Yeah, I think I tried to do that before, but there's all these specific things. Oh, very happily retired, so I guess we can add that. Went down, okay.
Oh, can you make it lower?
Yeah, it's interesting, it
I
doesn't.
know, but I'm on a Zoom call,
Retired.
I'm sorry.
He just retired.
I can't, I'm muted, but sometimes I have to talk.
Yeah, so I don't know why, but I would think retired would be a bigger one, but it seems like we only have these two. But yeah, so even when you're building it, you can see at the bottom what your estimated audience will be. X out of that.
I wonder, I guess you can target like Medicare eligible or, well, I guess that gets you to 65 and older. Is there a way you can't purchase lists of people? You don't necessarily have to see them, but Facebook could have them behind the scene. Because I'm just Googling it and says some people will purchase a list of people in a certain age group that Facebook can target.
Yes,
Is it-
they'll create a lookalike audience based on that list. So if you were to import a list of people, or buy a list, yeah, they could do that. Also another option, which I was just gonna say, people who like your page, people who like your page and similar to them, so you can click on that, and that will, I think you can edit in this, if you want specific locations within that, but that's a helpful thing too. I'm sorry.
Christy, this is Lindsay, can I add something
Sure.
about buying lists, based on my past career? Buying lists can be very expensive, and I'm not sure that that would work for us. I mean, you could explore it, but list purchasing is tough because of the money involved.
Yeah, I agree. That will end up being more than what you pay for the ad for sure, but
Yeah.
something you can reuse, you know. It depends on what your budget is and what you're looking for. It's a good point. Yeah, but people who like your page and similar to them, you'll probably, even though you can't control the age, you'll probably get the same age range, so that could be really helpful as well. That's kind of like a lookalike audience. Yeah, it says it's that here. A page like lookalike, it's what it's called. People in your local area, so that, but this is also something that you can control if you were to choose your own targeting, so this is kind of limiting if you just choose it on your own.
So can you put retired there?
People in your local area? No, it's just location. Yeah, so you can't control the age range or anything. It's just based on location, this one. So I wouldn't suggest that because it's very limiting. You can go here and choose your location and the age range and different differentiators. So and you can create new, start, like that was before, you can name your own audience. You can, like, if you know it's an audience group that you're going to target over and over again, you can, like we went through all these different things that you can choose, all the same things, but you can name the audience and save it. So you can go back to it again. You don't have to keep recreating it. Even if you don't know if you're going to reuse it again, I would definitely do this, just so you have it saved. You could say, you can go back on it and be like, oh yeah, that audience did well, or I want to target them again. So this is a good option. Okay, so then, and also like I said, with this, you can see the estimated results on the side, the reach. It also has to do with the budget, which we'll go over next, but you can play around with this for a while to tailor exactly what you want in an audience. So I suggest clicking through everything and kind of just looking around. Okay, so duration and budget. This is also very important along with the audience. So you want to choose how many days this will run, when it will end. Or you can run the ad continuously. That's going to be a bit more expensive, of course. You'll have to stop it manually if you want to do that. Or you can choose exactly how long it will run yourself. And then you can set a daily budget. So if you have a budget in mind, say it's $100, right? Or something like that. And you have an event or whatever your purpose is. I have an event coming up in December. I want to run this for 2 weeks. My budget's $100. You kind of got to figure out how much that's going to be per day. But then you can choose that. So if it's $5 a day, you'll reach this amount. Also based on your audience, of course. So it's taking into consider your audience that you're targeting and your budget daily. Gives you a few different options of how you can edit this. You can type it in. You can use this scale. The scale is helpful because it'll show you, okay, well, what if I do it like $7 a day? How much does that make a difference? And you can see kind of the estimated reach changing there by how much. And it also updates here, which is helpful. And then it'll show you the total budget as well. So you all have the daily budget and then the total budget calculated on the side here.
I have a question. How does changing the amount that you spend per day change the amount of people it reaches? I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, so the budget is what allows this to be shown to a wide audience. Facebook knows that you're paying for it. It's an ad. It'll be an ad placement. So it'll be shown more and to more accounts, more people. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So that's what I was saying in the beginning. This is like yours to play with, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money. it can be, you can test the waters. You can do $50 for a couple of days and see what you get, you know, and then go from there and say, okay, now I have an event that I want to do. And I want to put a little more budget behind it. I can do 100 and 150. Whatever your budget is what you can do with this. And it'll reach far more, no matter how low it gets over here, it'll reach far more than what your page can organically. So. And I always keep this on placements. I like Facebook to choose where the placements will be. I really have found that they kind of know best. And if you do turn this off, you can, if you don't have an Instagram, you can actually take that off if you want. But advantage placements really helps. They know best where to kind of put your ad. A pixel is if you have your website updated, you can get like data mixed from Facebook to your website. We don't have this on the national level, so I don't use this. But it's an option. I've used it before and you know, at other jobs and stuff and such. And then of course your payment method.
So do you know if we can use our TTN credit card?
Excuse me?
Do you know if we can use our TTN credit card for that?
I believe so. I mean, you know, I'm not going to take credit for that answer, but I will say when I've done it with the Long Island chapter, they use their chapter card. I'm pretty sure. So yes. And then
Thanks.
you would, yeah, and then you just keep track of it and make sure that, you know, Pat Luft has the records for it, which Facebook does a really good job of sending all the time. So yeah, as long as you just stay on top of it. Yeah. Yeah. And then you submit. Once you submit, it does take a bit for Facebook
Are you done here? Are you here?
to approve
Okay,
the ad. It needs to make sure that, you know, it follows all their rules and guidelines and you're not doing anything inappropriate, of course. Also a big thing for this, that I will mention, and I don't think I put this in the deck, but I will add it in, is that, Facebook does not like a lot of copy in the image. So the image that you choose to upload, can only have a small amount of copy. So maybe it's just like a headline and a date. Those are things we've used before. That amount of copy is just the right amount. But that's also something that Facebook will check when they're trying to approve or review your ad. And if you feel limited to copy in the image, just know that you can always add a very long description here. It won't stop you from writing many sentences in this area. You can do a paragraph here. So whatever is lacking, you know, copy-wise in your image, you can of course add in the actual like text box here, and that will show here. And a headline you can add that will show here. So those are kind of the things that they will review. It usually takes a few hours, pretty much not longer than that. So just make sure if this is a time sensitive ad that you're trying to run, give yourself a little bit of a buffer for Facebook to actually review it and approve it. Yeah, and that is pretty much all about building the ad. Then once you create it, you can, I'm going to backtrack here. We're going to leave this. Yeah. Now this says recent ads because we don't have anything running, but we did have an ad running. It would show here. You can click in to view more results and it'll show everything. So it'll show the daily budget, what your goal was. This is completed, obviously, because this was an old ad, but it would say running if it was a current ad. And your performance, how many link clicks you got, and it shows you the cost per link click, just as like any ad would. The reach that you've received so far, post engagement. So this is engagements overall, and then everything underneath it is a type of engagement. So a link click, a post reaction, someone saved your post, shares and comments. Again, your payment method, another preview of your ad. And if you had to edit it, you can click into here. Like, oh, there's a typo. I have to click that. You can click into there and do so. Or yeah, you can edit anything. The URL, you want to change that up. You want to make a tweak to your audience or your budget. You can do that here.
Christy, do they charge you every time somebody clicks on your link?
It takes from your budget. Mhm. Yeah, so it just shows you like, is this efficient, you know, this ad, are we, you know, is it taking a whole dollar, basically, is it taking like a lot of exposure for this to get a link click? And here 22 cents, that's really good. And it'll give you some insights here too. Increase your budget to try actions that you can take to continue good performance. You can increase your budget, of course, extend your runtime, and you can learn more here. Facebook's really good with these little tool tips, and hover, you know, pop-ups to help more information. It'll show you break down your audience, which I think is cool, because especially because we were talking about, you know, oh, I want more like 50 to 60. It'll show you who you're getting. And in that scenario, we are getting a lot more, you know, at least with this ad, it shows we're getting a lot more of that 65 plus. So if you didn't want that, you can go in and tweak your audience. Maybe, you know, bring that cap down a bit. So I like this breakout. And then audience details, of course, it's what you set up. You can edit that here. You can change your payment method while it's running as well. Yeah, really good self-serve, I think. And if this was an old ad, which this is, you can duplicate and say, okay, I want all the same, but I'm going to edit, you know, the image and the text. You can click duplicate, and that'll save all the things, the budget, the audience that you chose, and then you can still edit the creative that's in there. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I had on, excuse me, Facebook ads. Any questions?
Yeah, Christy, I have one. In
Yeah.
Philadelphia, I'm speaking for Philadelphia only.
Sure.
Most of our events are sold out, so, you know, putting an ad on Facebook wouldn't be very good. But recruitment, can National do something for us? Some good ads, and not state ads, but some good ads. Maybe saying like, "Have you recently moved?" Or, you know, "Are you recently divorced or widowed?" And where the local chapters could put in maybe a picture from their local chapter and their local chapter's Facebook link. But I think we could use help from National for designing something creative that we could post on our own.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to talk to Darla about that. Just, you know, she's my boss. But yes, I would, yeah, that would be great. And that would be a really great reason to do a paid ad to get more people to your website, to your Facebook page. I think the messaging of recently moved is great, to gather those new people. Yeah, I think that would be a very good use of an ad. Karen, I think, raised your hand.
Yes, I have a question about the saved audiences.
Yeah.
If we have, like, say myself and Donna are both admins of our Facebook page, if I save an audience, would she be able to use that same audience when it saves it to the page?
Right. Yep. To that
Okay.
account. So anyone who goes in to make an ad can save that, and everyone can see it. Yep.
And so we can duplicate each other's ads and things like that. Okay, great.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. It's all one page, one account, with multiple admins. So, you know, whatever you do is saved in there, and you can see someone else's work as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, if not,
What was Long Island's ad? You said Long Island put up a paid ad. What was their ad about?
it was for their Connect Now open house. So they did one in the spring and they did one in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different reasons to run an ad. Like I said, it doesn't have to just be events. I think that, you know, recently moved, that's a great message on an ad, to get them to your site. That's a great way to do it. Of course, events is just, you know, second nature. Yes, you want more people at your events, so that's going to be an obvious reason to run an ad. But yeah, like chapter promotion, if you're looking for a certain audience, age specific audience in that range, yeah, it's a great tool. Use it to drive people to your Facebook page or your your website.
Be great if we could create a library of like recently moved or recently divorced or recently widowed or, recently retired or,
Yeah, absolutely.
but there's no reason for every chapter to do their own. It'd be great to have something, a template that we could use.
Yeah, I don't see a problem in doing that. I can definitely set up a template for the chapters. Let me write that down.
So, just a question when, I'm not sure if you know this, but when National does any sort of advertising, do they target the 14 chapters or do they do a broad US kind of?
Broad
promotion?
US, yeah.
So it's broad US.
Yeah, because we also have the, the virtual chapter, so we don't want to, leave anyone out.
So
It's
can
just-
you make your own, like, I know you were looking to see about recently retired, but you can't make your own like audience?
Meaning what?
Like limited to retired, find retired, because you couldn't find it, and I wonder if you can make your own.
Yeah, so those kinds of things are based on what people share on their page. So it's all dependent on what people share. It might not be like a life event. I'm not sure. I'm surprised it's not, to be honest, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all what Facebook allows someone to choose and show on their page. And if they don't show it, then they might be retired, but you wouldn't know. You can't capture that. So
Facebook only uses what's publicly available. Like you can put behind the scenes your address, but say you don't want to share it. So they would only use what is publicly on your page. Because I'm like a Facebook stalker. I
Aren't we all?
But I don't put my location, my age, my
Right.
status or anything. But
Yeah.
they can
We wouldn't
only
be able to find you.
access what I have. What's that?
We wouldn't be able to target you.
Right.
That's a really good example. Yeah. And people could be retired. Like I said, people could be retired, happily retired, very happily retired, whatever you want it to be. But if they don't choose to share that on their page, we can't gather them with that demographic, with that target. So yeah, it's depending on the people, it's depending on what Facebook allows you to share. So that's why I mentioned it. It's tough using those because it is very limiting, because not even we could be missing a lot of people that are retired, but they just didn't choose to, share it. Yeah. All good
Yeah,
questions.
that's why I didn't know if there was something that was a little more targeted towards like, an older population, but then you get to the 65 and older, like AARP is 50 and older, I guess.
The age range is really the best way to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And you can cap it, right? You don't have to go all the way to 65 plus. You can go to 60 or 62, whatever you want, you can choose.
Yeah.
Christy, I have a quick question about boosting an ad or boosting the boost. If you say we've done a post about an event and then we decide to boost it, do you get the same options?
Yeah, we
as when you do the
walk through that. Yes. Oh, was there? Sorry. You will create an ad. You can pick boost a post. And then you pick, these are all the that were posted on the national page. You say, I want to boost this. It's weird. Yeah, so then you're brought back to the same thing. It shows you a preview. This is the post that you want to boost. You can choose the button. You can choose the audience, budget. Yeah, all the same.
Okay.
You just can't edit the creative, because it's taking what you already posted and boosting that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good question. Any other questions? If not, we can go over Instagram and how to set that up really quick.
Christy,
Yeah.
I can't stay. I've got another commitment, but I wanted to ask a quick question. Is there going to be anything about LinkedIn?
Yeah, so Darla and I only plan these 2 workshops, but I think that there should definitely be a part 3, part 4 possibly on further into Instagram and then LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is also has paid ads, which would be really helpful to capture that, you know, newly retired or looking to retire audience. So yeah,
because I have a feeling that that would be a really good thing to try, given, you know, that it's, you know, we could, I'm sure, as like here, but we could target women by age, I'm sure, and then potentially reach people that are looking to retire. And LinkedIn is, you know, primarily, you know, our demographic, the kind of people that would be interested in us.
right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can.
Also, I'm completely ignorant if it's even useful or not, but what about WhatsApp? I don't know if it's irrelevant or would be useful.
WhatsApp, more of a communication tool than like social media, I would say.
Okay, I'm ignorant, so.
No, no silly questions. That's no. Yeah, that's more of like a texting app. Yeah, there's Twitter too, but I don't think it's as relevant to our organization, but it doesn't hurt, you know, to use it.
I disagree on one aspect. I've been using it a lot again for reporters and real estate agents.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, you were saying that. Yes, that's very true. PR, and yeah, that's great. That's a great use. Cool. All right, so I will go through now. So again, this deck has all of the things that we went through, all the steps, what we talked through. So you have this all. I will share it with you. We went through questions. Okay, so we'll go through Instagram. This will be a really quick part. It's just kind of how to create an Instagram.
Christie, just
yes.
one second. I know you said you would share these decks with us, but shouldn't there be like a Google Drive or a central source of information that TTN has, TTN Natural has, so that when we need something, we can go to it rather than having to save it ourselves?
Yeah, that would be great. Like a Dropbox, maybe.
Yes, or a Google Drive.
Yeah.
So yeah. There should be a whole library of information for AMS, for this, for all sorts of things that is easily accessible. That's a central location.
Yeah, absolutely. I can talk to Darla about that.
Yeah, I think that would have been, you would have started there.
Yeah.
It should have been created for months.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great idea. Okay, so who has an Instagram page in this call?
Can you explain Instagram? I know nothing about it. I assume other people don't either, but maybe I'm the only one.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram generally is a younger demographic overall, especially compared with Facebook. So that's why I focus a lot on Facebook. It's really good for our group and the organization, people we are looking to get. But Instagram is based more on photos, visuals, rather than copy, links, text. It's more visually pleasing. But the thing is, even though it's targeted towards a younger audience, it does have a lot of relevant pages. There's a lot of, second half of life accounts, and a lot of, relevant content out there for this demographic. And so I think it's great to have. It's not a lot of maintenance when you go to post to Facebook. You just want to also post to Instagram. And if you have both accounts hooked up, it's actually really easy to just post to both at the same time. So I think Instagram's great. And like I said, a lot of good content. So, events that you guys have where you have real life women and photos, that's what people want to see on a platform like Instagram. Also Facebook, of course, but like I said, visuals really drive content on Instagram. So that's how it differentiates a little. Like Facebook can be more text heavy. You can post, you know, paragraphs like LinkedIn as well, but this is way more visual. And like I said, good to post for events, real-time things. So it's really easy to start an Instagram page. You just go to instagram.com, or you can get the app on your phone if you want to do it that way. You click sign up if you don't already have something to sign into. And then you fill out, I would suggest using your chapter email address. So info, you know, whatever your chapter main email address is, I would suggest using that. Whoever his name starts it, or you can say, you can call it like the chapter name as well. That's fine. Username. This is going to be it's called a handle. It's called a username. This is what's going to show on your page, like right here, ttnwoman.org. This is our username. So it's not just to log in. It's also what's going to show on your account. So I would make it something relevant. TTN Atlanta, TTN Philly, whatever is available. And it'll show you if it's already being used or something's too similar is being used. And you can kind of add in women or org, or, you know, different ways to spice it up. But that's what your username should be, something relevant to your chapter. And then of course a password that you'll remember, something that you can share with other people in your who will also be maintaining the Instagram. And then you click sign up. It's going to ask for a birthday. You can pick your birthday. You can pick when your chapter started. It's not really relevant past this point, but it's just something you have to provide. It has to be a birthday that's at least, I think, 13 years or older. So it can't be like yesterday or last year. It has to be at least 13 years or older. Then you're taken to kind of fill out your profile. So this is where you can add your website. So basically your chapter page. I would totally do that. You can change your profile photo. So ours is just, you know, the TTN logo. If you have one specific to your chapter, that would be a great to use here, similar to Facebook. You can take the bio you use in Facebook and do it and add that here. Again, with Instagram, you know, I kind of added some emojis. That's kind of what Instagram is. It's more visual, like I mentioned. So emojis just kind of makes it stand out, your bio. You don't have to use them though. Gender, female, because we're women. And that's it. And then you save that. And then this is an example of how it will show on your page. So this is what you'll see. You'll see all these edit and tools here. And then it'll show you how many posts you posted, your followers, who's following you. I'm sorry, who you're following, who's following you. And then the name on your page, your bio. And then it shows you some insights here, 54 accounts reached in the last 30 days. That's cool. You can view more insights there. And also you can add a link to your website. This is a link to where we show a bunch of different events for users to sign up for. That's a link that we use. This is what it'll look like. So again, not a deep dive into Instagram, but just a way to get started. And when we have another one of these, we can definitely dive deeper and then also do LinkedIn. I think that would be really helpful. So again, I'll talk to Darla about that. And of course, we'll email you all about that.
Could I ask you a question? Is this the regular one? It's not a business account, right?
Yeah, it's just a regular account.
And how do you connect this to Facebook?
So you do that on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah. That's actually in the last workshop that we did. I showed how to add your Instagram link onto your Facebook.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you have any questions though about that, please email me. I can help you through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christy, this is Jean Brubaker again. My voice is a little croaky, but may I make a suggestion?
Sure.
It strikes me, and I don't know what the other people on the call feel, but in regard to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, that you might consider talking to Darla about you giving a Zoom presentation to TTN national members about each one of these, even LinkedIn, as a user. In other words, we're all sitting at home sort of talking to our kids or whoever and receiving pieces of information. And it would really be a service if you might give us tutorials on each one of these.
Sure. Yep. I can walk you through.
But I'm saying as an event, as a program, whatever. I don't know whether the rest of the team feels that way, but I would find it very valuable.
Okay. Yeah. I'll definitely talk to Darla about that. I'm sure she wouldn't be opposed.
I mean, if she doesn't want you to do it for national, I'd like you to do it for Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, if
I'm
I
sure
could,
that wouldn't be
I
a
think,
problem.
yeah, I think, Jean, what you're saying is if we could run something for all our members.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are dependent on them. I mean, New York City's had like 4 different Facebook pages. We've had a couple of Instagrams. The issue is you need people to keep feeding it.
Yeah.
And if we could actually, and so, you know, we're not going to be able to, nobody's going to take on doing social marketing for the New York City chapter. Come on. It's a lot of work to do it effectively. So what you really want to do is to get all your members to be on the site and feeding it. And I think, you know, to Jean's point, if we could kind of, have an actual program and open it, I don't know how to set it up. That would be most effective. But if you could have an actual program that really helps to further educate our members how to use Facebook and how to also help support TTN in doing it, because it can go hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's a very good idea.
Yeah, because another idea is to get all those people involved is because when they see posts, like when I see a post on the national Facebook page, I'm sure it helps if I share that to my personal page.
Yeah.
And just
absolutely
gets more reach even without paying for the ad.
Yeah. I went over that last time as well. Yeah, absolutely. I call it like social word of mouth. Like, you know, Facebook is great in that way where you can share your chapters posts to your own personal feed. You can share nationals posts to your chapters page. You can share cross chapters. I think it's a great tool.
So can other people besides like Karen and I share to our Facebook page? I thought it only admins.
No, other people can post on your page. It depends on what you allow. It's a setting. You don't have to allow people to post on your page, but people can. Yeah. Just as like you post happy birthday on someone's page. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But with a business account, with a business profile, which is what you have for Facebook, there is a setting where you can like review posts before they show on your page. So if people post, you can make sure that it's not inappropriate or, you know, what have you.
Guess I'll have to review that and see what we have it set to. You know, Karen?
No, because I'm not an admin on our Facebook page yet. You need to add me.
Be happy to.
All right. Anything else today?
I think this might be more of a, kind of a, national thing, but at some point we would need to measure the success that we have, whether doing it at a chapter level makes sense or keeping it at national. So like, I don't know, Jean, if you agree, but for Philadelphia, I can't think of too many events that we would post. They would tend to probably be more of a national event. So just over time, if we're spending this money and we're not really getting much for it, just reevaluate in 6 months or 9 months and see if we should target it differently or something like that.
Didn't Chicago like increase their membership by posting to Facebook?
Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That would say yes.
I thought it was Meetup. I know they used Meetup.
Oh,
that really helped them. That was a while ago, but maybe they're still doing it.
Yeah,
But
that's interesting. Meetup is a great app for finding things for retirees, and there are older walking groups in different towns. There's a national walking group that posts on Meetup, but anyway, that's another.
Is that something you do, Christy?
I don't have a lot of experience with Meetup, but I could learn it.
I found with Meetup, you needed, if there was a good group, you actually had to go there and kind of like be like a spy almost, infiltrate the group and tell them about TTN.
That's a good.
But just putting an ad on Meetup or just posting our events for Philadelphia at least didn't do very much.
Okay.
But going to some of the Meetup meetings and meeting people, that, you know, if somebody was willing to do that, that could be a good recruiting tool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what Chicago did. And I think they actually set up some meetings through Meetup
Oh,
to test it that way too.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
we need
say,
to
and
get like
well,
training about from Chicago about how they did that, because that was one thing that I wanted to do.
yeah, because we actually used Meetup a few years ago, and it wasn't worth the money that we had to pay. We weren't getting anything out of it.
Yeah, but if Chicago could share their tips,
Yeah.
that might be helpful. If you could find out from Chicago, Christy, like what they did, and maybe share it with the rest of us, that might be very helpful.
I know that in the New York area that there were a lot of meetups for women 50 forward for various reasons. But the one thing that discouraged me from getting too involved, and this is going back a year or two, was that if you looked at them, you could see that they weren't all that current or recent. Like the event happened in 2022, you know, or something, was their
Right.
last event. So even though the title looks good, it looks like they've got a lot of followers. To me, a sign if they weren't really having like a meeting like last month, you know, it may not be worth the effort. That's one way to measure anyway, which ones you might want to pay attention to.
Well, the
Okay.
one I was thinking of, because I moved out of Philly for a while and I went on Meetup and found this national walking organization, and it's all older retired people because they meet at like, there's a few of them in New York, New Jersey, all over the country. But that I found through Meetup and started doing some walking with them. But anyway, to your point, you've got to filter through what's in there because some of it is old and dated.
Yeah, I'll look into that, see what I can find for you. Great.
That'd be really helpful.
Yeah.
As we've been trying to grow our chapter, but it's tough. So
All right.
just wanted to thank you very much, Christy.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you all for coming. I hope this was beneficial for you all. Like I mentioned, I will share the recording and the slide deck so you have all what we talked about. Feel free to share it with anyone in your chapter, of course. Yeah, and this was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
questions, everyone, too.
Thank you.
Yes, great
Thank you.
questions. Yeah,
Have a good weekend.
great weekend.
Thank you, and thank you for your help.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you.